unlocked by visual input from the retina. The visual cortex seems to produce this rhythm only when it is not occupied with the interpretation of signals coming in from the eyes. This fact meshes nicely with the observation that concentration or dissipation of visual attention can bring on altered states of consciousness. For example, in many forms of Buddhist meditation, a visual focus, such as a statue or a geometrical design, is the main device used to change awareness. And hypnotists have long used sparkling ornaments and swinging pendulums to fascinate the visual attention of their subjects. An alternative is to dissipate attention by looking at nothing, as in Zen practice, where the sitter may face a white screen or blank wall. All of these techniques make it easier for the visual cortex to ignore the signals coming from the retina. We usually consider vision our highest sense, and certainly it has more brain devoted to it than the other senses. But there's an esoteric tradition that regards ordinary vision as deceiving and obstructive of self-development. One expression of this tradition is the card of the tarot deck called the Devil. It is a collection of symbols that have to do with illusion or wrong seeing. The name of the Hebrew letter appearing on the card is Ayin, meaning eye. One of the teachings embodied in this card is that what is revealed to us by the visual sense is not reality, but an appearance. That indiscriminate reliance on how things appear will lead us to formulate incorrect hypotheses about how things are. What we see when our visual cortex is interpreting signals from somewhere other than the retina might have more to tell us about the nature of reality. This idea may be upsetting to those psychiatrists who think visions is a polite word for hallucinations and who refuse to believe in realities other than the one of consensus that we use for convenience. The Indians described in this book consider the visionary world as real as the ordinary one. They are able to go there together and learn how to function better in the world of every day. Córdova's story has much to say, also, about the relationship of visions to drugs. It reminds us over and over that the raw effect of the drug is a powerful but neutral stimulation of the visual imagination with an ambivalent potential for order and chaos. What the partaker of ayahuasca sees in the visions is dependent not on the drug, but on other factors: the mood and setting of the group, the physical and mental states of the participants, and, above all, the chanting of the leader of the ritual. Many persons who take hallucinogenic drugs have experienced the special relationship between sound and visions. But Chief Zumu's use of chants to bring on an orderly, logically developing sequence of visions is a highly evolved power. Until we develop some of our latent abilities, it may not be useful for us to rush off to the Amazon to drink ayahuasca. There is no lack of things to do. We can try to spend more conscious time in our visual imagination. We can try to visualize images together, or at least share the images that are already there. We can practice making and using sounds to create moods favorable to the imagination. These exercises can be practiced with or without the use of psychoactive drugs. To be sure, extracts of Banisteriopsis are especially powerful, but our own continent is rich in natural hallucinogens, including the peyote cactus, certain morning glories, and several varieties of psilocybin mushrooms. The problem is not to find the right substance, but to find someone who knows how to use it. Even in South America today, it is very difficult to find men skilled in the use of ayahuasca, or yage. 70 years have passed since the events recorded in this book took place, and in that time, many changes have come to the forests of the Amazon. The isolated incursions of rubber cutters that had already disrupted the lives of the Amawaka at the turn of the century have been superseded by waves of intense colonization, road building, and even the construction of oil refineries. Traditional Indian life has suffered greatly in the wake of this sort of development, and many of the old drug rituals have vanished or degenerated. In 1972, I spent considerable time in the Putumayo territory of Colombia, near the Ecuadorian border, searching out yage priests. I prepared the extract with a number of shamans and was generally discouraged by the sloppiness of the preparations I witnessed. I saw the woody vine cooked hastily in dirty water in aluminum pots, sometimes merely mashed around in cold water because the yagero was too drunk on alcohol to build a fire. In many Amazonian settlements, one can buy an ayahuasca ceremony for a few dollars, or a few bottles of aguardiente, the raw cane whiskey that is consumed so relentlessly in the hot country. And in those ceremonies, the drinking of aguardiente often seems to have higher priority than the drinking of ayahuasca. I met no one who knew how to make or use the extract with anything like the care.